found he mishandled domestic abuse allegations against a former assistant coach. The school said that even though Urban did not condone or cover up the domestic abuse, he failed to take sufficient action. They also said he did not, quote, deliberately lie when asked about it at Big Ten Media Day. Athletic Director Gene Smith was also suspended. Let's take a listen to Urban Meyer yesterday.
I'm fully aware that I'm ultimately responsible for the situation that has harmed the university as a whole and our Department of Athletics and our football program. I want to apologize to Buckeye Nation. I followed my heart, not my head. I fell short in pursuing full information because at each juncture, I gave Zach Smith the benefit of the doubt. I did a poor job at Media Day. It's a big reason why we're here today. I was not being as complete and as accurate as I should have been at Media Day and afterward. But there was no intent to mislead. My role is to set a good example. In this instant, I did not live up to the university's standards. The suspensions are tough, but I fully accept them. I wish I could go back and make the different decisions, but I can't. These difficult lessons are a constant reminder of the duties and obligations that I have as a member of this university and this community.
What message do you have for Courtney Smith?
Well, I have a message for everyone involved in this. I'm sorry that we're in this situation. And I'm just sorry we're in this situation.
Skip, was the punishment enough?
It was not nearly enough. And clearly, a majority of college football or basketball or whatever coaches would have been fired under the same circumstance. And what's most offensive is that if you study the punishment as it was doled out, Urban Meyer will miss the first game completely, but for the game 2 and game 3 weeks, he can coach the team and prepare the team. He just can't go stand on the sideline. But I'm going to suggest that he will be in touch with people in the press box, which will be relayed down to the field, and I think he will have strategic impact and input on games 2 and 3. So this is completely out of bounds to really just, it's not even a slap on the wrist. It's just a little tap on the wrist. That's all. So we found out from the investigation done by the Ohio State University that he blatantly lied, even though they said he didn't deliberately lie. I don't know how you can not deliberately lie when you stand in front of the media, Big Ten Media Day, and say, I know nothing about any of this 2015 or 2009. You know nothing about it? How could somebody create a story like this? Because this happened, and that happened. And we know for a fact that he had his director of football operations show him how to delete text messages on his phone from more than a year back. So those were all gone when they did the investigation. And we know for a fact that only recently, Urban Meyer signed a new contract that included language that required him to divulge to Ohio State's compliance department anything that he would know about anything involving any sort of domestic violence or sexual assault. So he didn't do any of that. He kept that all to himself, and Gene Smith oversaw that, although I give Gene Smith this. He did send a text message to Urban ahead of Big Ten Media Day saying, if you're asked about what we know about 2015 and 2009, you need to go ahead and come clean with it. And he deliberately... He lied. He just lied. And he ignored the order of his superior, Gene Smith, to go ahead and divulge at Big Ten Media Day. So in the big picture of this, Urban Meyer has only 2 legs to stand on. And again, you and I went back and forth on this earlier, but there is the fact that remains that Zach Smith was never convicted of any sort of domestic violence. He was arrested for, but he was never convicted of. And in the investigation, Urban Meyer and his wife, Shelley, testified to the investigators that they doubt the credibility and veracity of the accuser, his Zach Smith's wife, which we hear again and again. I'm very open about that. We hear again and again this victim shaming. But we've been through it before, and I don't know what to believe about that, but that's what they testified. And I believe that testimony, coupled with the fact that he was never convicted, that was just the loophole through which Ohio State was able to slip and say, well, we'll just tap him on the wrist.
That was the loophole they wanted to slip through. Yeah. Here's the thing, Skip. We have to be very, very cautious of this because a lot of these domestic violence and sexual assault cases are never prosecuted. There is no conviction. but there's a lot of people that have lost their jobs with no convictions. We've seen this Me Too. There's a lot of people that's unemployed currently with no convictions. There's a lot of people with domestic violence on their resume that doesn't have a job with no conviction. So I don't know if that's the standard that we're going to use. Unless there's a conviction, there is no, we absolve everybody. I don't know if I really want to go there. I get everybody should have their due process, but there's so much going on here. After Zach Smith was fired, there in this report, this is 7:35, Shelley Meyer conveyed, and he texted Coach Meyer, I'm worried about Zach Smith. He drinks a lot, and I'm just not sure how stable he'll be, Skip. I'm afraid he'll do something dangerous. It's obvious he has an anger and rage issues already.
Okay.
Now, you believe the guy is unstable. You believe that he has drinking and rage issues, but you don't believe what Courtney Smith is telling you about what he's done. That's what you said. You just conveyed that. You said he has issues.
Yep.
He drinks, he has rage, but she's lying. Wow. You see, Skip, this is how it works. And we know this. If I like you, Jenny, if somebody tells me something about you, I'm not going to believe it because I like you. I don't believe Jenny would do. Nah, not the Jenny I know. But if I don't, yeah, I believe it. That sounds like something
And
Jenny
again,
would do.
to your point, the mentor of Urban Meyer was one Earl Bruce,
Correct.
a former head coach, no longer with us, but a former head coach at The Ohio State University. And as Urban grew up under him, he had a grandson named Zach Smith. So Zach Smith became somewhat like a son to Urban Meyer.
Right.
So did he look the other way? Well, he admits he did. He said, I let my heart overrule my head.
It's called paying it forward. Someone gives you an opportunity, someone in that family, what do, Skip? If you get an opportunity, you pay it forward. You give him the same opportunity somebody gave you. But the thing is, for him to lie, to say he has no knowledge, and just blatantly lie, and in 2018, we just have a hard time of fact just saying, man, you lied. That's a lie. I forget exactly how the Orwellian quote goes, Skip. They says, repetitions of a lie that goes uncorrected gets chronicled as the truth.
I think that happens down through history a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Urban, this is not he didn't intend to lie, he misspoke. He flat out lied. He knew what the reporter was asking him to be true. He said he knew nothing when he knew everything. And then you made that. Where do you guys make these stories up at? Make it up and then to pretend like nothing happened. I don't know how Gene Smith, the athletic director, kept his job. I still don't know. Two scandals.
He got suspended, but he didn't lose his job.
Man,
2 scandals.
I mean, a quarterback, a guy can get 4 games for selling sneakers. And a head coach that's making got a $35 million, $40 million contract, Skip.
$7 million a year. Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Really? Is that where we are? We're going to punish the kid for selling some shoes, 4 games, and a guy that's making $7 million a year lied and covered it up. Repeatedly lied and covered it up and had an opportunity. There were several opportunities, Skip. He could have did the right thing. He had so many opportunities, so many to say, you know what, Zach, I love you like a son, but I got to let you go.
Well, and so he could have shown some contrition at last night's press session.
That made it worse.
It did not help.
It did not help, but I guess he's thinking in his head, I can't show contrition because it'll show some guilt on my part, and I don't think I'm guilty. And clearly, as he was forced to read this statement that he didn't write. He's just monotoning the words. Yeah. He didn't believe a word that he was reading.
Apologize to Buckeye Nation first. The first name out of his mouth should have been Courtney Smith. Courtney, I let you down. I am so sorry.
Yeah.
But like you said, I'm sure his attorney probably said, look, whatever you do, you admit nothing. So that's the story. You stick with it because, there might be some lawsuit or coming down the pipeline, and we don't want you to be a part of any of that. But, man, and the president, boy. Urban, good thing you're a great coach, bro. Because if you were a 500 coach,
he'd be gone.
You'd be looking for
because it would be a stain on the university, and they'd say we can't survive this one. We've got to let him go. But when you're 73-8 as the head coach at Ohio State, and you've won 2 Big Ten championships and a national championship,
and you're favored again,
you're favored again. They're going to do everything in their power to keep you, because in the end, They can.
Yeah.
They're not.
Ain't no federal
breaking
law
the
that says you
no,
have right. There's no federal law that says you have to let him go.
Yeah. I don't know Title IX law well enough, but I think there could be a violation here just because he did not disclose.
Right.
Which he should have.
So which is a fireable offense?
I don't. That's by the letter of the law of his contract. That's fireable.
I don't know, Skip. But he might have signed that contract.